It was my parents' zip code. I won't say my current one. We're being videoed. And so I think of it a little bit like that. So a hash function has nothing to do with Bitcoin, came along to take a bunch of data and create a registry. But through that, it also became a way to do a commitment. Yes, your first name?
Dana.
Dana?
Yeah, Dana. What goes into the hash function and comes out as a hash? That's what I don't understand.
So what goes in is any set of data. Today, that could be an entire movie. It could be a picture of everybody in this room. Initially, it was mostly alphanumeric data. But because in computer technology, all data can be broken down to a series of registries of zeros or ones. I mean, computers started with literally, the first ones started with registries that were either turned on or off. If they were on, call that a 1. If it was off, call it a 0. I'm not sure which way it goes, but I keep looking at Aline. But, and so all data can then be brought down to a series of zeros and 1. And if you put 4 zeros and 1s in front of each other, 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, 2 to the 4th is 16. All of a sudden, you see if you keep going 2 to something, you can get a lot of data. So back to your answer question, Dana, when we talked last week about the New York Times crossword puzzle, New York Times may, if they wish, take the solution of their crossword puzzle and hash it. And then, Stephanie? Yeah. Stephanie likes to do the New York Times crossword puzzle. And she wants to know if she properly completed the New York Times crossword puzzle. The New York Times could say to her cell phone, we're not going to really give you the answer, but we'll give you the hash of the answer. And then when she's finished and she pushes a button, her application could say whether her answer properly hashes to theirs.
Can I ask a follow-up?
Please, please. We're trying to learn here together.
In the case of a blockchain, it's whatever data you've loaded to the blockchain, and then in Bitcoin, it's just the transaction. Is that right?
So in Bitcoin and blockchains, they use hash functions in several big ways. Everything you said was correct, but except for the one thing when you said it's just, because they actually use hash functions in the middle of the proof of work, because the hash pointer points, block 3 points to block 2, and there's hashing. They use the hash function to compress a bunch of data, what I call the Merkle tree, but it's taking 1,500 or 2,000 transactions and squeezing it into one hash. So they're hashing all of these things up. It uses hash functions in the midst of the Bitcoin address. So the hash function is like electricity in the middle of it almost. It's probably used 6 or 8 places, and some I don't in any way know myself or need to understand. Nicholas.